From winning match after match,
Kovalev hurt. Kovalev's down. Kovalev's out. Here, Canelo is the light heavyweight champion of the world.
Terence Crawford becomes the first male fighter to become undisputed in
to the two titans finally clashing on the biggest stage.
Round, and Terence Crawford knew he had to make a stand in this sixth.
Canelo was looking to be friends, and Crawford is not looking to.
This is the epic story of Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford, and the legendary night that changed boxing forever. To understand why this fight mattered, let's start with the legendary Santos Saúl Canelo Álvarez. Born in Guadalajara, Mexico, Canelo didn't just step into boxing, he grew up with it. He turned professional at only 15 years old. Yep, he was just a teenager facing grown men, learning toughness the hard way. But what set Canelo apart besides his immense talent was his insatiable hunger. Every fight, every training session, every drop of sweat was about climbing higher than the last man who stood in his way. As the years passed, Canelo rose through the divisions. By his 20s, he was already Mexico's brightest star. He conquered multiple champions, gathered world titles in 4 different weight classes, and became the undisputed super middleweight king. His reputation was built on devastating body shots, a granite chin, and a relentless fighting spirit. He fought and often won against legends like Miguel Cotto, Sergey Kovalev, Gennady Golovkin. Whenever he stepped into the ring, he carried not only his own legacy, but the pride of a nation known for producing warriors. In Mexican boxing culture, courage is as important as victory, and Canelo embodied both. But while Canelo was paving his way, across the ocean in Omaha, Nebraska, a different kind of fighter was being forged. Terence "Bud" Crawford. Crawford's rise did not come with fanfare or global spotlight. Instead, it came with years of discipline, sharp skills, and quiet dominance. Crawford began at lightweight, where his slick style and uncanny ability to switch stances left opponents bewildered. He climbed through junior welterweight and then welterweight, becoming the undisputed champion in both divisions. Each step up the ladder reinforced the idea that Crawford was the most complete fighter of his generation. However, his path wasn't easy. Critics tried to diminish his achievements, claiming he hadn't faced the biggest names. But Crawford's response was always the same. Whoever stood in front of him, he dismantled. He relied on precision, timing, and an adaptability few could match. When he stopped Errol Spence Jr. in 2023 to unify the welterweight titles, there was no debate left. Crawford was pound for pound #1, and he wanted more. Canelo ruled the higher weight divisions. Crawford dominated the lower ones. For years, their paths never seemed destined to cross. But boxing is a sport driven by legacy. And legacies are built not by staying safe, but by daring the impossible. Crawford had already proven he was one of the greatest welterweights ever. But true immortality required something more. He looked upward, 2 weight classes higher, at the man who sat on the throne, aka Canelo Álvarez. The matchup was everything the sport craved. Canelo was the established king, proven across divisions, beloved worldwide, while Crawford was a brilliant technician, undefeated, calculating, and hungry for recognition beyond debate. It was more than just a fight. It was a collision of eras, of styles, and of pride. For Crawford, it was the chance to prove size didn't dictate greatness. For Canelo, it was the opportunity to defend his throne against one of the most skilled fighters the sport had ever seen. And then it finally happened. On September 13th, 2025, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas became the stage for history. Over 70,000 fans filled the arena, a sea of Mexican flags and Crawford loyalists. each side roaring with anticipation.
Super fight for the undisputed super middleweight title.
Big right hand from Canelo blocked.
Body shot got through for Álvarez.
Two good shots for Álvarez.
First two real punches of the fight.
From the opening bell, Canelo pressed forward with determination, wasting no time in setting the tone. He dug to the body with his trademark heavy hooks, each one landing with a thud that echoed through the stadium. His strategy was clear: target the core, wear the smaller man out, sap his energy, and eventually break him down. The crowd roared in approval at every thudding body shot, every relentless step of pressure. But Crawford was no stranger to adversity. He circled on his toes, countering with sharp punches, slipping just out of range, and switching stances seamlessly to keep Canelo guessing.
Kel may have it 3-0 because he gave the first to Crawford, which Crawford may have won with the only clean shot of the round. So far, Crawford is fighting his fight, and he has neutralized Canelo.
By the middle rounds, the fight had begun to shift dramatically. Crawford's timing was impeccable, and he started landing clean, precise shots that even Canelo's granite chin could not ignore. In round 6, a crisp uppercut snapped Canelo's head back, and a follow-up left hook silenced the crowd for a split second. It was the kind of moment that changes the tone of a fight. Suddenly, it was clear that Crawford wasn't just surviving against the bigger man. He was slowly but surely taking over, proving that skill, precision, and willpower could neutralize brute strength.
Something else hard before the end to say, hey, there's distance between you and me. Like that.
Canelo had a great fifth round, and Terence Crawford knew he had to make a stand.
Round 9 exploded with drama. The energy inside the arena surged as both fighters dug deep. Canelo came forward with fire, swinging with menace, while Crawford, blood trickling but eyes locked with focus, tightened his stance and began throwing with even more precision. Every exchange was electric, the kind of back and forth that reminds fans why boxing is called the sweet science.
Round 9. Oh, and that's a good early land by Crawford.
I think it's more than no nonsense. As
Canelo, to his credit, never stopped pressing. He threw with desperation, seeking the one shot that could turn the fight. But Crawford's defense and counters were too precise.
This has been a masterful performance from Terence Crawford.
Canelo's going to fight. He's a warrior. He's a champion, a great, proud champion. But Crawford got...
When the final bell rang, both men stood tall in the center of the ring. Canelo, proud but exhausted, his face showing the wear of battle. Crawford, bloodied yet unbroken, carried the aura of a man who had just achieved something monumental. The arena fell into a tense hush as everyone awaited the scorecards, knowing history was about to be written.
To 113, to the winner by unanimous decision, the Fighting Pride of Omaha, Nebraska, an undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, Terence.
Crawford had won, and with that, history was made. Crawford became the first fighter ever to achieve undisputed status in 3 weight divisions: lightweight, junior welterweight, and now super middleweight. His daring leap into Canelo's territory had paid off, and his name was forever etched in the pantheon of boxing's greatest legends. The fight between Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford was more than a contest of fists. It was a meeting of 2 men who had devoted their lives to boxing, who had sacrificed everything for greatness. Together, they gave the world not only a fight to remember, but a story that will echo through history. What are your thoughts on their story? Share them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.